Actually, I wanna talk about something about when you rescue an animal, right? I've been on the scene for some time, right? And I think sometimes the veterinarian, if they are involved at all, right, and they should be, they kind of. I think there is an industry about rescue and a story about rescue that's on horses and dogs that has a darker side, which is that it's an occupation for some people, and it also could be a way of posting love that should be. I mean, if a woman rescue a dog or a horse, there is some sort of nursing or caring in that thing, right? Which should be actually more pointed at children. It could be her own children or someone else's children, right? I think the reality of slaughter horses or horses on auction is that they already had been evaluated by veterinarian, and there might also be owners that could not sell a young horse, and they don't want them to be suffering from what you call unprofessional handling. So there is a sort of there is some horses with so much damage in their bones and limbs and spine and neck and all places, hooves and stuff, that no matter how good you are in rehabilitation, that you cannot rescue a horse that are, you said, sent off, right? And I think sometimes that I see in this area, Denmark, South, that they sort of abuse horses in handicap riding, in school riding, that were meant to be slaughtered. They are too old and they're too damaged. They can't resist. And I also see a point of view when you have starving horse and you rescue a starving horse, but you don't really see that horse, when it comes in weight, that the hurt it has, the pain it has in the legs, neck or spine, that the resistance of having a rider is addressed for pain and not for you as a person, right? So I think all of this industry of healing, therapy, methods, clicker training, doping is wrong, right? And I also think the same with dogs, that you can rescue a dog, and frankly, the animal welfare in Denmark has a good program for behaviorally accepting. They will say if you buy a dog from animal welfare protection, they have already assessment the dog for being not too harmed by what it experienced. I have a dog who was taken away from 1.5 years neglect of alcohol, horse theft, something, right? That dog is never going to be normal. It's a big work to have a dog like that. And as soon as a horse or a dog is starving, and if it comes under the level of survival, it will be damaged. Brain will be damaged, the organ will be damaged. It might never really work. And I know it's good intention. I also sometimes meet horses in riding schools or private horses that actually, I think they sense that I know that they actually need a door out on the other side, right? And I'm like a person that I'm not afraid of putting a horse down, because sometimes if the horse is in pain, or if the future of a horse is neglect or too much work or too little food, then I rather want to be the one that take that next door to the other side for safety, right? because I don't think it's fair to send a horse into circulation. They can become like 40 years, right? And if you meet a horse that's 30 years old, ponies for example, and you know that horse has been a riding school horse and now it's circulation as some kind of carrying rescue horse, and you know it has to end someday, you know. And I think also the rescue organization, they underestimate damage of a horse. I mean, I don't think it's fair to put any saddle on a horse which might have been or is proven lamed or proven not agreeable about the saddle or brit, right? So basically, I think the industry of rescue has gone too far. It's an industry. I even saw in a sort of play catalog for children, toys, that there was a toy for girls called Rescue Dog, meaning that when this child grows up, she will have like incorporated that, of course, I'm going to get a rescue dog or animal, right? Instead of, sorry to say this, instead of being a mom to a lot of wonderful kids and buying a right, well-trimmed, well-kept animal, right? I think the reason for this industry, I think, is that the farm industry, the racing sport, the jumping sport, dressage, and also they are too far out in the law of protection of animals. And when all of these rescue people, they kind of run after this kind of industry, where it's like the mare gets foal after foal taken away from her. The young horse, before it's grown up, is gonna jump too much, too high. They're broken down, right? And then the rescue people, they run after this and say, well, we can help them. So my point of view is to address the industry of, in a way, exploring horses, dog, in 100% too much, right? And then recognize that harm is done and ended by taking the safe door to the other side where there's no more pain. Because I realize that sometimes when a horse is put down, it's not a scene that everybody can handle, but it's peaceful when it's over. It's like, it's not horrific that the horse is screaming or something. I think it's a safe way, instead of this kind of circulation of traffic of horses from the one place to the other. There is like the therapy and the healer and the clicker training, and then another therapy and a hoof person and a veterinarian, and everybody didn't wake up to the call of that horse was destroyed. And then we can also say that maybe we should talk about being a little harder on, hey, this rescue situation, you're to blame, go to jail. Put the horses down and let the man or woman go to jail and give me the well-dressed horse or something, the young, untouched horse, right? And I also think another thing, rescue people, I know a lot of them, often they're young women, and they should actually more go after getting a family and, good breed. They should not be abused by all of these reckless people that traffic these horses, right? Because the industry as rescuer, they kind of help to, they kind of take away the problem for the people that abuse horses, right? Race horses that the reason why they slaughter race horses is exactly this. They don't want them to be a subject of experimental, of abuse. They want them to have a good life and then down, right? I can see that there's also because, full blood is a difficult thing to handle if you're not professional. So in a way that that you can get a horse that's not damaged, but if it's not damaged, can you handle it, right? So basically, the industry of rescue is actually feeding the mistreatment, the starving, the traffic, right? So in a way, the rescue people should maybe say no more. We don't want to take your problem away from me. You address, if you see a starving horse or a horse that needs hoof care or something, address the person to fix it. And if not fixed, it's the police, and then it's a judgment, right? Because this problem will continue, and it doesn't matter if it's sheep or cows or chickens. If we feed that problem, it would just grow. And another thing about safety, I don't think it's fair to have a young woman, unexperienced professional, to gain a weight on a horse and then experience that the horse grows up resistantly aggressive to people, maybe because of pain or neglect, and the young woman is putting her life in risk. That's not okay. If I had been parent to a young woman that took on a challenge like a very, very angry horse because of neglect or pain, I would never do that. But on the other side, I would not put my child on an old, overexposed and painful experienced pony in a riding school because the horse can't walk hardly.